Welcome, Forts fans. Buckle up your seatbelts and find your Zen Palace. We are just about to go over the greatest patch notes in Forts history. Here it is, you guys, the Forts Commander update. This is the greatest patch in the history of Forts so far. I'm so excited to be able to bring this to you guys. I'm just itching for it. I knew about this about 3 weeks ago. The developers had reached out to me and let me know that this was coming, just so that I could prepare videos and get things ready. Also, so I didn't make the other Commander videos for the tutorial playlist. So they just felt it to let me know what's going on. There's also some other stuff coming up here. So you guys will want to make sure that you like and subscribe the video. Hit that little bell notification so you get notified when the next thing is coming out. That it's in the works right now, and we're working on it together. So let's get ready for these patch notes, guys. The Forts Commander update. Let's see what Earthworks has to say. Good day, Forts fans. Today we have a big update for you all. We've been keeping track of the state of the Commander meta, and it's become obvious that only a select few have been used by the best to increase the chance of victory, specifically Architect, Overdrive, and especially Pinchfist. Over the last couple of months, we've been working hard on buffing and rebalancing the commanders. We've added a host of exciting abilities and powers to make them more viable. Check out the list below with new abilities listed in bold. All right, taking a look at Scattershot. The normal stuff, passives. Shields reflect projectiles perfectly. Snipers fire 2 rounds. Projectiles deviation increased by 35%. That's all normal. New stuff. Burst weapons gain 2 projectiles, excluding the 20mm cannon. I don't like that they exclude a weapon. That just seems... I don't know. That bothers me. When you give a commander a perk and then you're like, all of it but this weapon. I don't know how I feel about that. But let's read on. Active. Projectile deviation reduced by 65%. So I'm liking that they're giving us percentages now, which is really good. And the new stuff. 20mm cannon fires 3 projectiles at a time. So does that mean every time the 20mm cannon fires, like bang, 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 it fires 3 projectiles? Because if that's the case, that is amazing. If that's not the case and it fires more like a shotgun, then I'm not sure. We'll have to experiment and check that out. Projectile weapons show a partial trajectory preview. I think that is super clever, because Scattershot's one of those abilities that you don't want to miss. So that'll help you not miss it. I think that's really, really good. Is that meta changing? Game breaking? Are we going to see him more? Hard to say. But I like it. And it brings his power level up. So I think that's good all the way around. Okay, moving on to Seep. See, lots of bold here. As we all know, Seep was never selected very much. He was probably known as one of the weakest commanders. So hopefully these guys have fixed some stuff up. So warheads burst into 15 swarm missiles when destroyed. We knew that, but they're giving us the number now as 15 rather than just swarms. So that's good. Warhead and swarm launch delay reduced by 59%. Why not just 60? No idea. Okay, very cool. We've known that too. EMP rockets send guided missiles back to their origin. Now they keep saying this. We saw some examples in the SGTV 2v2 seasonal cup. We did see some of that, but more like it just disoriented it. So I haven't yet to see an EMP rocket actually send a guided missile back to their origin, but that's definitely not a skill that I practice ever, because nobody plays Seep. New stuff. The targeting laser for missiles is invisible to the enemy. That is amazing. That is so good. So it's still going to say target acquired or target gathered or whatever the sniper says, but you're not going to know where it's going to hit. So in multiplayer games, that's amazing. The target of friendly and enemy missiles is visible. So the laser is going to be hidden, but the friendlies will be able to see where nukes are going. I like that. That's actually really good. Smoke is 10% larger and lasts 20% longer. Moonshot. So obviously you have to have the Moonshot DLC. That is OP. 10% more smoke and it lasts 20% longer. So that's basically forcing opponents to have to use repair stations to get rid of the smoke. Oh, I like that. That's a great change. And those are passives. Actives. All swarms and rockets have 32% greater thrust. We knew this. Swarm missiles are armored against 1 additional hit. EMP rockets are armored against 1 additional hit, and rockets are armored against 1 additional hit. I am so glad they did this. This is exactly what Seep needed. Now, how they determined 1 additional hit and not 2 or 3, you know, they tested for months. And I know some of the guys on the testing team. I don't know all of them, but I know some are on there, and they have a great testing team. So they definitely would have experimented with all sorts of things, and the balance obviously would have been set at 1. And I trust their judgment there. If you would have had it at 2 additional hits, you'd probably need, for a normal warhead rush of 2, an extra 3 or 4 gunners. In my opinion, 2 to 4 gunners, 3 to 4, I think. So you're looking at, what are they, 75, 150? So is that 225 to 350? Is that right? 350 metal? Did I get that right? 150, 300. 225 to 300 metal extra that you now need in order to safely take these out. Statistically speaking, depends on the map and the location, the firing angle, blah blah blah. That's awesome. That actually, I think, makes Seep amazing. That the fact that your laser's now hidden. How many times have you tried to kill Merrick's with a nuke rush and he just wood spams? Every game. Every game. So that is awesome. I think it's just awesome. Moving on, Shock and Awe. Shields absorb energy from laser weapons. We knew that. Maximum group size increased to 4. New stuff. Barrels can be built to control disconnected structures. So they've brought in barrels mod, essentially, and put it on Shock and Awe as a passive. I don't know when or why or how you would use this, but I think that's awesome. We are going to see some crazy new meta. I bet you 42 Scientist is going to come up with some absolutely ludicrous things to do with this, because that's what he does. He's an incredibly smart Forts player, and creative, and he absolutely will come up with some amazing stuff to do with that. Buzzsaws can be grouped. That is going to be devastating. So that could be a meta play now, right? You pick Shock and Awe, you do a cannon rush, but your front guy would do buzzsaws, and then you would like group of 3 buzzsaw, take out a bunch of the metal, cannons in, win the game. So that actually is probably why they replaced the barrels doing what they do, because they're going to allow buzzsaws to be grouped. So that same kind of damage that barrels do is now going to be put on the buzzsaws, grouped into 3, followed by a weapon, in my guess. All right, active. Enemy turbines are disabled. What? Wow. 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 The 20mm cannon fires a cannon projectile. What? And the fire beam fires a plasma laser beam. So essentially you can build 20mm cannons and fire beams and then fire them like cannons and plasmas. That is insane. Oh, that's going to be so much fun. That's going to be so much fun. So you can use the 20mm cannons to do a whole bunch of damage and drain the enemy's resources, and then you activate the ability and then you hit them with cannons. That's going to be savage. That's going to be savage. Shock and Awe is really, really OP now. So Seep and Shock and Awe so far are on the list. Buster, completely unchanged. Let's just burn through it real quick. Passive. AP snipers can paint targets for missiles. I always thought that should be on Eagle Eye. I always thought that was strange on Buster. Foundations have no cost. Actives. Snipers and AP snipers fire EMP projectiles. For those of you guys that don't know why they do that, portals. That's why, because you can deactivate portals now. Using that. Not now, but you can deactivate the portals. Heavy mortar cannon, warhead rocket, 20mm cannon gain depleted uranium projectiles. And howitzers gain depleted uranium projectiles for the Moonshine DLC. So unchanged. Buster unchanged. Moonshine also unchanged, which I think is fine because I think they were great. Passive. Shield operates as doors. Shields block normal armor piercing projectiles. We knew that. And active area of effect weapons gain EMP capability. So those two unchanged. I think that's okay. Phantom. I see lots of bolt here. I'm excited for this. Phantom, passive. Weapons are cloaked until fired. We know that. Dummies of devices and weapons can be built as decoys. I have done this in streams. Not very many, but you've probably seen it. You catch new players with it. I've taken, like, I build a workshop, and then I put an armory outside, like up top, like exposed, and some new player builds a sniper and like shoots at it. Super funny. All right, new stuff. Devices and weapons can be moved in 2 seconds. So that's a passive now. That's amazing. So you can now build your big weapons inside your base and then move them to firing positions. That completely changes base building design. Completely changes base building design. That's amazing. Start fully charged, so you have access to her ability right off the bat. Hopefully that's not OP. We'll see when we get there. Internal portals are hidden to the enemy in the Moonshine DLC. That I remember the guys talking about that actually in the Fort's Discord. I think that's incredible. They should be hidden. Doors are silent. I love that. And damaged structure does not reveal content. So that's the Swiss cheese in between the boards, in between the bracings. Now you won't be able to see what's inside. Oh, that's really strong. Active forts are cloaked, and then of course the weapons are silent. I think Phantom is now completely viable. This actually, I would think you would see Phantom in the professional meta all the time. The fact that you can now just randomly move weapons, build gunners on the inside of the base, and then just put them on the outside of the base. And they're cloaked, right? So you wouldn't know they're gunners there anyway. Oh, wow. Doors are silent. I love it. I love that it's not an activated ability. It's just the doors are silent, as they should be. So that means you constantly have to be looking at your opponent's base. This is literally going to mess up so many game styles, because you constantly now have to be looking at the opponent's base. This is huge. Phantom is on the list of commanders I need to try. This is incredible. I think this is game changing. Architect, largely unchanged, but let's go through real quick. Bracing, or foreground bracing. Construction cost is reduced to 20%. Background bracing, construction cost reduced by 20%. Battery capacity is increased by 30%. Metal store capacity is increased by 30%. Structure build speed increased by 100%. And the new stuff, metal store and battery build speed, is increased by 20%. I do not know if that's going to change build timings or not whatsoever. We'll have to experiment with that. Active devices and weapons build speed 300%, and structure build speed increased by 300%. So whether or not that's game changing to Architect, I don't know. I think any of the top tier players would be able to answer that in the comments below relatively easily, whether or not that's going to affect their because their builds are a lot tighter than mine. So in terms of their timings and what they can and can't spend in order to get things out at the maximum time or the minimum time, they'll be able to tell me that in 2 seconds. Overdrive. I see some stuff here. Upgrade speed increased by 100%. We know this. New stuff. Repair stations have 100 metal and 1,000 energy storage. Huh. That's really interesting. I don't know if that changes repair stations or not, but I think that makes them interesting. They're less of a negative now, at least. We know from talking about the devices, or talking about these in the devices video in the Forts tutorial playlist. Link is down below in the description. Make sure to check it out. The instances that you would use or wouldn't use repair stations. So you'll definitely want to check that out. Whether or not this is game changing, I'm not sure. Devices and weapons can be downgraded to recover 100% of resources spent. That's amazing. That is amazing. Wow. Wow. So when you get door sniped and it blows up your cannon, you can downgrade your turbines and your mines to get the resources needed to build another cannon and then re-upgrade them. That's actually really cool. That's really cool. Active resource collectors gain 100% increased production. So great changes to Overdrive. Whether or not that's going to be game changing, not sure, but I'm very much interested in seeing that. Hurricane, completely unchanged. We'll burn through it real quick here. Passive. Device and weapon build speed increased by 10%. Device and weapon scrap speed increased by 300%. Repair speed is increased by 50%. Device and weapon repair costs increased by 5%. Active weapon reload speed increased by 100%. So I've always liked Hurricane, very niche, but I've always liked Hurricane, always been a fan. Firebird, I see a couple things here. So incendiary mortars ignite structure within 1.4 grid squares. I didn't actually know it did that, but I'm glad. Cannons ignite structure within 1 grid square. That's good. 20mm cannons ignite structure. Fires extinguish at 100% increase rate. Fire spreads at 50% decrease rate. I'm liking like they're giving us percentages, like I said. Fire beam minimum penetration is increased by 12.5%. I like that. I think I knew that already though. Fire beam duration is increased by 28%, which means that you have more time to door snipe them. New stuff. Armor reduces enemy fire beam penetration to 50% shorter distance. That's amazing. That's really amazing. I'm so glad for that. And the enemy's fire alarm is disabled. What? Oh my god, that's so good. You have any idea how many bases are going to burn to the ground just because of this? I love that. Active, all projectiles are incendiary and warheads ignite structure within 5 grid squares. I think those are cool changes to Firebird. I really like that. I might actually just use Firebird more fun just because their fire alarms don't go off anymore. I think that's great. Warthog, largely unchanged. A couple things here. Plasma laser cannon and 20mm cannon aiming arcs are increased in size by 20%. Plasma laser cannon, 20mm cannon, swarm and warhead reload decreased by 2 seconds. Heavy mortar reload decreased by 0.5 seconds. Howitzer aiming arc is increased in size by 20%, Moonshot. And howitzer reload decreased by 2 seconds, Moonshot. New stuff, shotguns have an automatic anti-air option. Cool. Will be largely unused by pro players just because they prefer to manually fire their AA. I do, especially when it comes to shotguns. All missiles and rockets have 25% greater thrust as a passive. So they're giving them a Seep ability as a passive. Interesting. Interesting. Active. Plasma laser cannon, 20mm cannon, and warhead direct damage increased by 25%. Cannon, 20mm cannon, and warhead splash radius increased by 25%. Howitzer direct damage increased by 25%, and howitzer splash radius increased by 25%, both for Moonshot. But the new thing is heavy weapon reload instantly on miss. That's amazing. So when you're trying to hit that one thing at the top of someone's base, and you just shoot over top, you just get to shoot again. No big deal. Till you get her dialed in. That's amazing. Those small little changes, I think, are perfect to Warthog. I'm really impressed by that. Eagle Eye. There's some bold stuff there. Let's take a look. Sniper build speed. Sniper build speed increased by 100%. Snipers and AP snipers can be grouped. Snipers and AP sniper deviation reduced by 50%. Sniper and AP sniper reload reduction by 20%. All weapon aiming arcs are increased by 25% in size. New stuff. Miniguns have an automatic anti-air option. That's amazing. That's amazing. Miniguns fire instantly, so no wind up. I like that as well. Sniper, AP sniper cannon, 20mm cannon, shotgun flak, rockets, and miniguns have laser sights. So, does that mean it's going to show you the projectile arc of where the projectile is going to land, or just where you're aiming? Because overall, I don't know if that helps that much, to be honest. It's going to depend. We'll have to experiment with that, but I like that. Active, sniper, AP sniper, minigun, and shotgun have explosive projectiles. Overall, I like it. I like it. Pumps them up a little bit and makes miniguns viable. Like, actually viable, instead of just a strategy. I like that. Pinchfist, largely unchanged. This is actually completely unchanged. After Pinchfist, as you guys know, got a nerf, 2 patches ago? They did a quick little Pinchfist nerf because he was picked just every game. Passive mine and super mine productivity increased by 10%. I always thought these were upgraded mines. Now they're called super mines. I love it. Turbine and super turbine productivity is increased by 10%. 100% of metal is reclaimed from devices and weapons, and 100% of metal is reclaimed from structure. Active, the fire cost of all weapons is reduced by 50%. So Pinchfist largely unchanged after they nerfed him before. Pook Spook is also largely unchanged. A couple little things here. See enemy resources. See the last device or weapon type built by the enemy. Highlight the enemy reactor position. That's great for core swings. I do like that. New thing. See the enemy commander and their charge level. I think that's amazing. That should have always been a thing. I'm so glad they put that in there. Active. See inside the enemy fort and steal 200 metal and 2000 energy from each enemy fort. I'm so glad they added that. This is something that I've suggested multiple times. I've talked about it in my videos as well. Now the question is, when they steal the 200 metal and 2000 energy, is that from each fort, is that divided amongst forts remaining? So it would be what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 800 metal and 8000 energy divided by 4 cores or 3 cores or 2 cores. So for example, if you had a 2v4 and you used the ability, would you gain 400 metal and 4000 energy? If so, I think that's amazing and a fantastic comeback mechanic. Very similar to that of like Overdrive's or Pinchfist's kind of sell-off ability. If it's just that you only get 200 metal or 2000 energy regardless of how many cores are left, not very good. We'll have to experiment with the game, but I'm so glad they added this in. This is something I suggested about making it take away from each enemy fort. So I'm very glad they put this in. Very, very glad. So Spook is viable now in multiplayer, which I think is great. Armadillo, last one. Passive. I see lots of bold here. Passives. Armor, door, and shield cost 20% less metal to build and repair. Obviously, we knew this. Shields cost 20% less energy to run. A great feature of Armadillo. Door speed increases by 100%. One of the main reasons I used to pick him. So way back, just before Pinchfist got his nerf, I've been talking to the community. I was like, I think Armadillo is super viable. Like, there's a meta here. And a lot of people laughed at me and, you know, were saying that my reputation's being ruined because I'm talking about Armadillo, which is simply just not true. But after Pinchfist got the nerf, those same people had come back and posted that Armadillo is actually viable and they've been trying to look for a new meta. And I was like, guys, I've been doing that since the beginning. I know what I'm talking about in this game. I'm not a tester and I'm not a crazy like experimenter, but I know what I'm talking about. And there's definitely potential on Armadillo. Now we've got some new stuff. We want to check this out. Armors and door mass decreased by 50%. That's amazing. Miniguns can be upgraded to fire armor-piercing projectiles. Wow. Wow. Repair station cost is reduced by 25%. I think that's amazing. And repair field radius is increased by 50%. I always thought the repair field was increased, but they've increased it further. Maybe. But this is absolutely like a direct counter to Seep. This is perfect. I think this is amazing. These are really good passives. Really good passives. Active. All structure repair costs decreased by 50%. We knew that. And repair speed is increased by 300%. So this is the main reason that I liked Armadillo, is that you would get the repairs done in approximately 2.5 seconds versus the 10 seconds it takes to repair something almost fully damaged. So this is huge. This is the main reason I liked Armadillo. And as a content creator, getting stream sniped is quite predominant. And it's actually to the point now where people are actually saying, yeah, sorry man, we were totally stream sniping you. They just admit it. So this is why I used Armadillos, because it gave me the opportunities to take a pounding, repair the base, take a pounding, repair the base. I could withstand being stream sniped using Armadillo. Made a big difference. So, but there's new actives. AP sniper projectiles penetrate 2 layers of armor. This is something I had mentioned actually in a couple of videos. I had talked about AP snipers need to go through 2, or they somehow need to make them more powerful or more viable. So this is how you do it. Perfect. See hidden armor, doors, and shields. We knew that already. I'm not sure why that's bold, but maybe it's adding something. And then see hidden portals for moonshot. So this is also a direct counter to Phantom. Armadillo is now viable, you guys. I don't care what anybody says. Armadillo is absolutely viable. Holy crap. So there you have it, guys. Join the official Forts Discord. You can also join the SynergyGamingTV Discord. Link is down below in the description. Server for discussion on weapons, strategies, and modding with our friendly and helpful community. Thanks for playing Forts. Cheers, Earthwork Games. Guys, that puts Armadillo... What is it? Armadillo, Warthog, Firebird, Phantom, Seep, and Shock and Awe on my new top list. I'm super excited. I am super excited to give you guys some crazy gameplay content of the new changes. There's going to be all sorts of stuff here, guys, on the channel. Make sure you smash that like button. Help get these videos out to the people who want to see them, the new players, and the people just looking for great Forts content. Also, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you get notified when all these cool new commander abilities and things come out on video here on the channel. I want to thank you guys so much for watching Synergy Gaming TV. I am your host, Synergy, and we will catch you on the flip side.